Chosen one, stop scrolling right now. Heaven is calling your name at this very second. Something extraordinary is unfolding in the spiritual realm, and it's all about you, not next week, not tomorrow. Right now in this moment, before you move another inch, take one slow, intentional breath. Heaven is closer to you than the air filling your lungs, and a supernatural peace is beginning to settle over this exact moment in time. This isn't religious hype or empty promises. This is holy ground. This isn't about performance or pretending. This is about divine presence breaking through. 3 angels have been dispatched from the throne room, and they are speaking your name right now in the courts of heaven. Your name is echoing through eternity. This moment you've stumbled upon, it's no accident. It's not random chance or algorithm luck. It's divine appointment. And here's what they're saying about you right now. They're not discussing your failures. They're not listing your mistakes. They're not gossiping about your weaknesses. They're declaring your transformation. They're prophesying your breakthrough. A holy shift is taking place inside your physical body right now. Your strength, it's being restored at this very moment. Your health, it's being rebuilt cell by cell. The structure of your being, the very temple that God Himself designed with His own hands, is rising again from the ashes. Do you understand what Scripture says? Your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19 makes this crystal clear. You've felt so empty lately, haven't you? You've been exhausted beyond explanation, running on fumes, barely making it through each day. But listen carefully, heaven has not forgotten your name. The Lord Himself is speaking over you right now, and this is what He's saying. What was breaking inside you will be made completely whole. What was silent and numb will sing again with life. What felt dead and disconnected will feel vibrant again. You, chosen one. Yes, you listening to these words right now. You were seen in your quietest pain, in your darkest moments. Those sleepless nights when you lay awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling. The hands you pressed against your chest, desperately begging God for peace, for relief, for any sign that things would get better. And the Most High has sent this specific message to you today to tell you clearly, I am answering those midnight prayers. This word you're hearing right now is not here to shame you or condemn you. It's here to shepherd you, to guide you home. Your limit, that place where you feel you can't go any further, that's exactly where God begins to move. That's His starting line. He's speaking to you. I created every single cell in your body with purpose. I know every heartbeat before it happens. And I am declaring over you right now, this is your hour of transformation. Not just spiritual transformation, but physical transformation. Not just your soul, but your flesh and bone. Healing is entering your bones at this very moment. Holy fire is rising in your belly, in your core. The fatigue that's been crushing you, it's lifting off like morning fog. The tension that's been wrapped around your shoulders, it's breaking apart right now. And here's what you need to understand. The restoration isn't partial. God doesn't do halfway healing. It's complete, total, absolute. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up every single one of their wounds. That's Psalm 147, verse 3. The same God who leads you beside still waters will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land. Isaiah 58, verse 11 promises this. You're not just being patched up like an old tire. You're being made completely new, recreated. And listen to this. You are not only being healed in this moment. You are simultaneously being prepared for what's next. Because what God restores, He also sends out on assignment. What He repairs, He then deploys. Now, as you step into this divine promise that's being spoken over you, I'm urging you with everything in me. Don't scroll away from this moment. Don't treat this like just another video. Don't miss this sacred interruption that the Holy Spirit orchestrated specifically for you. You were meant to hear these exact words at this exact time. This is the direct answer to that prayer you whispered last night, the prayer you thought heaven forgot. Type the word Amen in the comments right now if your spirit is bearing witness to the truth of this word. If something deep inside you is resonating with what you're hearing, let that Amen be your declaration of faith. Let it be your faith in motion, not just belief in your head. And whatever you do, stay until the very end of this message, because we're going to close with a powerful prayer that seals what God has already begun inside you. Whisper these words with me right now. Lord, I surrender to you completely. I align myself with your will. I receive what you're doing. Don't strive and strain, just rest in His presence. Don't rush this moment, don't skip ahead. Your time is now. The shift has already started in the spiritual realm. The question is, are you ready to receive it? Right now, as you're watching this screen, as these words are entering your ears, something is being written in the eternal record of your life. Something your physical eyes haven't seen yet, but your spirit can sense it. You can feel it stirring. That ache you've been carrying around like a backpack full of rocks. It's not being ignored by heaven. The delay you've been questioning, wondering why God is taking so long, it's not denial. It's not God saying no. You weren't abandoned in that waiting room. You were being preserved for this moment. You weren't overlooked when others seemed to get their miracles first. You were being prepared for something greater. And now, the appointed time has arrived. The time has come for truth to rise louder than every lie the enemy has whispered. The Lord your God is still your healer. He hasn't retired. He hasn't changed his nature. He is still your restorer, your repairer of broken walls. And he cannot let you fall. You will flourish again, not just in your inner life, not just in your spiritual disciplines, but in actual strength and tangible peace. Not just in your soul during worship, but in your physical body. You will walk with strength that feels unfamiliar at first, strength that seems almost foreign, but only because it's been absent for so long. Too long. But that strength is returning to you like a prodigal son coming home. It's already on its way. It's already in motion. Your body is sacred ground where heaven's fingerprints are still visible if you know where to look. You may not realize this, but the enemy has been trying to break you specifically through your physical body. Think about it. He targeted your energy levels, trying to drain you dry. He attacked your drive and motivation. He disrupted your sleep patterns night after night. He went after your basic ability to simply move through your day without pain. But here's what he didn't account for. The Most High placed a supernatural hedge of protection around you. That's the only reason you're still standing. That's why, even in those moments when you absolutely thought you were completely finished, thought you couldn't take one more day, something inside you refused to give up. Something wouldn't let you quit. That something was God's strength holding you together when your own strength ran out. This transformation you're stepping into right now isn't just about physical healing, as amazing as that is. It's about divine alignment. The Lord is aligning your body with His purposes for your life. He's removing everything that hinders you from your destiny. He's refining what remains, purifying it like gold in fire. No more delays keeping you stuck. No more distractions pulling you off course. Heaven has already moved on your behalf before you even knew you needed help. Do you remember the story of Elijah under the broom tree in 1 Kings chapter 19? He was absolutely exhausted, completely done, ready to quit everything and die. But God didn't rebuke him for being weak. He didn't shame him for being tired. Instead, God fed him, gave him rest, and spoke tenderly to him, saying, "The journey ahead is too much for you in your own strength." And then, after that rest and nourishment, God sent him forward in completely renewed strength. That's exactly what's happening to you in this moment. You may feel like you're at your absolute limit right now. You may feel like you can't possibly go any further. But your limit is precisely where God begins His work. His strength is perfected in your weakness. You have absolutely no idea how close you are to the moment when everything shifts in your favor. But here's the truth that will set you free. It's already begun in the spirit realm. The alignment has already started. The transformation has already taken root beneath the surface. Just because you can't feel the full manifestation yet doesn't mean it's not happening. Growth always starts beneath the surface before it breaks through the soil. Seeds germinate in darkness before they reach for light. God is speaking directly to you right now in this moment. Trust me. Even when everything is quiet and still, even when you feel completely alone in your pain, I have not left you, not for 1 second. He has heard every single whispered prayer you've prayed at 2 in the morning. Every question you've asked in the dark, wondering if He's even listening. Every night you held your chest wondering why the healing you've been believing for hadn't come yet. But He was right there in the silence, in the stillness, holding you together with invisible hands when everything inside you felt like it was falling completely apart. Remember the woman with the issue of blood in Luke chapter 8? 12 entire years of suffering, 12 years of doctors who couldn't help, who took her money but couldn't cure her. Crowds of people couldn't stop her from pressing through. But she touched just the edge of His cloak, just the hem of His garment, and she was instantly healed. Not because she shouted the loudest, not because she had perfect theology, but because she believed. She didn't need anyone's permission to receive her healing, and neither do you. God does not need a favorable doctor's report before he can move. He does not require a positive diagnosis to decide to heal you. He moves simply because he is God. That's his nature. And when he decides to restore something, no force in hell itself can stop it from happening. This is not just physical healing we're talking about. This is generational healing breaking through. God is not only transforming your physical body right now, he's simultaneously reversing what was spoken over you by others. He's rewriting what was passed down through your bloodline. The trauma that ran through your family line like poison, it stops with you. Right here, right now. The fatigue, the fear, the pattern of failures that seem to repeat generation after generation. They're being broken off your life like chains falling to the ground. You are chosen by God himself. You are marked with his seal. You are protected by his blood. No weapon that is formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54, verse 17 declares this. Even if weapons form, even if the enemy aims them directly at your life, they will not succeed in destroying you. Because the shadow of the Almighty is blocking every single arrow that's meant to harm you, there's absolutely no need to strive and strain for this healing. This isn't performance-based Christianity. You're not being healed because you prayed the perfect prayer with all the right words. You're not being restored because you finally got everything right in your life. You're being healed for one reason only, because you are loved by the Father. You're being restored because he chose you before you were ever formed in your mother's womb. He knew you then. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5 says this clearly. He knew every single storm you would face in life. He knew the wear and tear your body would carry. He saw it all before you took your first breath. And still, he looked at you and said with absolute conviction, "You are mine. You belong to me." So no, you don't have to beg him to fix what he's already written a detailed plan to restore. You only need to trust him in the waiting period. This pain you're experiencing, it will not be wasted. Not one tear. This struggle you're going through, it will not be empty and meaningless. Every ache, every scar, every silent cry that no one else heard will become a powerful testimony, a weapon in your hands. Because the same God who stood with Daniel in the lion's den, protecting him when he should have been torn apart, the same God who fed 5,000 hungry people with just 5 loaves and 2 fish, the same God who called Lazarus out of the tomb after 4 days of death, that exact same God is standing beside you right now at this very moment. He is not finished writing your story. Not even close. He's been closer to you than your own breath this entire time. You didn't see him when the panic attacks came, but he was there, steadying your heart rate. You didn't hear him when the fear surged through you like electricity, but he was whispering peace over your mind. You didn't feel him when you nearly broke completely, but he was holding all the pieces in his hands, keeping them from scattering. And even now, in this present moment, he's not just speaking about you to others. He's moving inside you, working in you. The swelling in your body, it will shrink down. The chronic pain that's been your constant companion, it will lift off you. The headaches that throb behind your eyes, they will ease and disappear. The fatigue that makes every task feel like climbing a mountain, it will break like dawn breaks through darkness. And strength, real, true, sustainable strength will return to your body. But it's more than just physical healing. Your soul will be reordered from the inside out. Your thoughts will shift from negative to positive. Your mind will calm down from the constant anxiety. Because this isn't just about your physical health improving. It's about who you are becoming in this process. And who you are becoming is exactly who God intended all along before the world ever tried to reshape you. Before you rush on with your day after watching this, take 2 quiet minutes. Not to scroll through more content, not to react and move on, but to say this simple prayer: Lord, align my body, my mind, and my steps with you today. Lead me. Stretch gently. Let your breath fill your lungs deeply. Let gratitude rise up from your spirit, even if all you can manage to say is a simple, "Thank you for keeping me alive." Read even one verse today that reminds you of renewal, like Lamentations chapter 3, verse 23. His mercies are brand new every single morning. Let that truth become your rhythm today, your heartbeat. When anxiety creeps in later, pause right there. Breathe intentionally. And remember this truth: Alignment doesn't start with noise and activity. It starts with obedience to his voice, with surrender of your will, with stillness before him. This moment right now, it's so much more than just words on a screen. This is divine intervention breaking into your timeline. The atmosphere around you is shifting as you listen. Angels are moving on your behalf. And your body is beginning to respond, not to fear anymore, not to panic and anxiety, but to purpose. To him, to your Creator. You don't need to explain to anyone what's happening inside you. You won't need to justify your restoration to skeptics. Your life itself will become the undeniable evidence. Your healing will speak for itself louder than any words could. Because the same God who spoke light into existence out of total darkness is still speaking now, and he is speaking directly over you. You are not who you were yesterday, and you will not stay where you've been stuck. There is a shift taking place right now, one that can't be seen with physical eyes but is being deeply felt in the spirit realm. A transformation that's divinely timed, undeniably personal, and fully covered by the hand of the Almighty Himself. The season of silence is breaking open. The weight you've carried on your shoulders is lifting off, and the lies you've believed about yourself are being silenced by truth. The Lord is speaking over you. I am turning your mourning into dancing. I am exchanging your weakness for my power. I am making rivers flow in your desert places. I am causing new life to rise up from what once seemed completely dead and hopeless. You are not finished. Your story has more chapters, and neither is my plan for you complete. Some of you listening right now have been living under the heavy shadow of hopelessness for so long, believing deep down that your body is broken beyond any repair, that your healing is forever delayed, maybe even denied, that your strength will never return to what it once was. But heaven is issuing a brand new decree over your life today. Your story is not over, not even close. It's being rewritten by the author of life himself. The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life. That's Job 33, verse 4. You are not broken beyond restoration. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, crafted by the Master's hands. Your body is not a battleground of permanent defeat. It is a vessel being prepared for glory, being refined for purpose. He does not dwell in perfect places filled with perfect people. He dwells in surrendered ones who open their hearts to him, and your surrender has become sacred ground where his presence dwells. The pain you felt, he saw every second of it. The nights you cried silently into your pillow, muffling the sound so no one would hear. He was right there in the room. The days you forced yourself to smile while carrying a weight no one around you could see, he never looked away from you, not once. And now he is stepping into the place of your deepest need, not just to repair what's broken, but to redeem every single part of what you've endured, to give it meaning and purpose. This is not about pretending the pain wasn't real. It was real, it hurt, but it's not permanent. It doesn't have the final word. You are being led out of the shadows into a new chapter of your life where pain is no longer the loudest voice in your head, and he is speaking life over you. Just as the prophet Ezekiel stood before a valley full of dry bones, scattered and lifeless, and heard the Lord say, "Son of man, can these bones live again?" You are now standing in your own valley of dry bones, and the breath of God is coming again, filling what once was completely lifeless with resurrection power. The same God who told Ezekiel to prophesy over those bones is telling you right now, I am breathing into you. Live, stand up, walk, you are not too late, you haven't missed your window, you have not missed your moment, it hasn't passed you by while you were struggling. You are still standing in the center of his perfect will. Even when you've been too tired to believe, too exhausted to have faith, he has seen every moment. He has seen every time you thought your body betrayed you. He knows exactly how many times the pain returned right after you thought it had finally left for good. He knows the burden of waiting, the frustration of setbacks that make you want to scream, the disappointment of prayers that seem to go completely unanswered. But listen very closely to what I'm about to say. This is the hour of rebuilding. This is where God begins to restore everything you thought was too far gone to save, everything you thought was beyond hope. And it is not just physical restoration. Your soul is being lifted out of despair right now. Your mind is being renewed with truth. The emotional wounds, the internal battles no one knows about, the fatigue that feels too heavy to explain to anyone. It is all being brought into divine alignment at this very moment. Heaven is not only healing what was harmed, it is restoring what was stolen from you. Your joy that disappeared, He's bringing it back. Your ability to move freely. He's restoring it, your sense of purpose. He's reigniting it. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. Isaiah 58, verse 11 promises this. The attacks you faced weren't happening because you were weak or because you did something wrong. They were happening because you are chosen for something significant. The enemy has always seen the weight of destiny you carry, even when you didn't see it yourself. That's exactly why the warfare has been so fierce against you. But listen to this truth. Not one weapon has actually prospered against you. You're still here. You're still standing. And now the scars from those battles will become your testimony. Every part of your journey, even the darkest chapters, even the parts you're ashamed of, will proclaim His power to save and restore. You will walk again, not just physically putting one foot in front of the other, but spiritually with authority and confidence. You will go to places where you once felt too weak to go. You will laugh again with genuine joy. You will breathe freely again without that crushing weight on your chest. Not because of what you've done to earn it, but because of who He is. He is Jehovah Rapha, the God who heals, and He hasn't run out of miracles. His supply is endless. He hasn't retired His power. He hasn't forgotten how to restore broken things. He is not a distant deity sitting far away, waiting for you to somehow earn healing through perfect behavior. He's a present Father stepping directly into your brokenness with resurrection in His voice. The tiredness in your bones that makes you feel decades older, the pressure in your chest that won't go away, the wounds that have lingered longer than expected, longer than seems fair. He's touching it all right now. Healing is not coming in theory or as a nice idea. It's coming in reality, in manifestation. You will feel it in your steps. They'll get lighter. You will sense it in your breath. It will come easier. What once drained every ounce of your energy will become effortless. He is healing what has been broken, even down to the cellular level of your body, down to your DNA. The Lord is saying to you, I am rebuilding you from the inside out, from the foundation up. I am restoring balance to your body's systems. I am purging what has polluted your system for years. I am renewing your blood, strengthening your bones, awakening your immune system, calming your nervous system. And most important of all, He's restoring your will to live fully again, not just to survive day to day, but to thrive. He didn't call you just to be forgiven of your sins and then barely make it through life. He called you to be completely whole in every area. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly, overflowing. John 10 verse 10 declares this. This is your page-turning moment, not a pause in the story, not another delay, a shift, a breakthrough. Heaven has already prepared what's coming next. The same hands that held you steady in the storm are now lifting you into new strength you've never experienced before. You are not who you were when this message started, and you will not leave this moment the same person. The pain, the waiting, the battle. It all led here to this divine appointment. And now, the same God who walked with you through the valley is calling your name from the mountaintop. You are worth the healing. You are worth the rebuilding. You are worth the miracle. And yes, you were worth the fight. Even before the battle became visible to you, the Lord had already declared victory. Not one moment of pain the chosen one experienced was the full extent of what the enemy had planned, because the Lord Himself stood in the gap. Between total collapse and stability, between complete breakdown and breakthrough, He stood as your shield, your defender. And now the message from heaven is crystal clear. Transformation is coming, and this time it will not fade away like it has before. This is not temporary relief that disappears next week. This is not a fleeting calm before another storm. This is a deep, lasting restoration, rooted not in human effort or willpower, but in divine power that cannot fail. The pain that once made simple movements a struggle is being systematically dismantled. The heaviness that lingered every single morning when you opened your eyes is being lifted off you. The chosen one will walk again, not just in body, but in clarity, purpose, and strength unknown before this moment. This is divine transformation, not human improvement, divine transformation. For the Lord has seen the silent endurance you've shown, the moments where strength was masked behind a tired smile that fooled everyone, The times when pain was hidden so carefully so others wouldn't worry about you. But no suffering has ever gone unnoticed by heaven. Not one tear has been wasted. The weight that was carried in complete silence has been seen by the Almighty, every single pound of it. And now He speaks over you, be made whole. This isn't a gentle suggestion. This isn't a maybe if you're lucky kind of thing. It is a direct command from the one who spoke the galaxies into place with a word. It is a decree from the voice that calmed the raging storm instantly. When He speaks, all things must respond. Even pain must bow, even disease must flee, even trauma buried deep in the body must come out. There is no condition too far gone for Him, no situation too complicated for His wisdom, no delay too long for His timing. Even if the body has been worn down by years and years of struggle, the Lord remembers what health and joy feel like for His creation, and He is restoring that remembrance in full measure. Not because you've been striving and working for it, but because of His covenant promise. His word says, "But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord." That's Jeremiah 30, verse 17. Healing is not something the chosen one must earn through perfect behavior. It is something the Lord desires to give simply because He is faithful to His promises. His hands are steady enough to hold what the whole world cannot carry. His shoulders are broad enough to carry what no one else can see or understand. And now, He is moving swiftly because the appointed time has come. Your time. This restoration includes more than just energy or wellness scores. It includes peace, deep, supernatural peace. Even your nervous system, so often frayed and fried by years of constant pressure, is being touched by the Lord's healing presence right now. He is addressing the trauma that's been buried in your muscles for years, the stress that wrapped itself around your bones and joints, the unspoken grief that took physical form in your body. This is not just surface healing. This is release, liberation. It is not only physical, it is spiritual at the deepest level. He is removing the heaviness that settled in your soul like fog. He is breaking off the residue of spoken curses that others said over you. He's demolishing the emotional warfare you've endured. He's crushing the silent doubt that's been whispering lies. He is clearing out the darkness from every cell, every breath, every step you take. This is what happens when heaven touches earth. When the Lord moves in power, the natural realm must respond. In this very moment, not tomorrow morning, not in some vague future, the Lord is moving right now. The chosen one may not see the full picture yet. The complete blueprint may not be visible. But they are standing in the center of the miracle while it's unfolding. Every quiet act of faith, every breath surrendered in trust, is part of the unfolding of God's power in your life. The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save you. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by His love. That's Zephaniah 3, verse 17. The transformation underway is not a slow fade. It is not a gradual maybe someday process. It is an active rebuilding happening right now. And when others look at the chosen one in the coming days, they will not see the past anymore. They will not see the pain you carried. They will see the power of God on display. The scars will not define you any longer. The glory will define you. This healing will ripple far beyond just one body. It will awaken something in other people. It will break chains in entire families. It will stir faith in those who have forgotten how to hope. This healing is a sign, a wonder, a testimony to everyone watching. The Lord still moves today. The Lord still speaks to His people. The Lord still heals in this generation. The chosen one has not been overlooked or forgotten. On the contrary, they have been under divine surveillance, watched not from a distance but examined closely with love, protected constantly by grace. Every moment they thought the Lord had turned away was actually a moment He looked even closer into the soul, into the ache, into the deepest places where no human eye could ever see. And when this rising happens, and it will happen, there will be no confusion about the source. Everyone will know. It was the Lord's strength, not their own effort. It was His grace, not human plans or strategies. It was His timing, not wishful thinking or positive confession. And the journey forward will not be walked alone in isolation. He is leading every step. As peace begins to settle back into the body and mind like a gentle rain, the evidence of God's hand will become unmistakable, undeniable. This peace isn't meant to be hoarded or kept to yourself. It multiplies when it's shared. One kind word spoken to someone weary, one prayer whispered for a friend who's struggling, one act of love carried out in complete silence with no recognition. That's how heaven expands its territory, through vessels willing to pour out what they've received. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Galatians 6, verse 9. Healing becomes testimony when it becomes action. Every time the chosen one lifts another person up, they rise a little higher themselves. They become a living witness, walking proof that light still breaks through darkness. That hope still breathes. The Spirit of the Lord is not confined to temples built by human hands. He dwells in the surrendered heart. He surrounds the chosen. His love goes ahead of them and his power does not fail. If the chosen one could see themselves exactly as heaven sees them right now, they would never doubt again. Not for 1 second, because he never looked away from you. He never stopped loving you even when you stopped loving yourself. He never left you alone even when you felt completely abandoned. And now the shift is here. Not only to heal, but to empower for what's next. Not just to restore, but to repurpose your pain. Not simply to patch what's broken, but to rebuild everything in glory. The victory was secured before the first battle even began. And what the Lord has started in you, he will absolutely finish. You may see weakness when you look in the mirror, but heaven sees endurance and strength. You may notice the delays, the long nights, the pain that lingers longer than seems fair. But the Lord sees something far more powerful. He sees someone who never gave up, someone who pressed forward through the ache, someone who carried silent battles with strength they didn't even know they possessed. From the very beginning, the Most High walked every single step with you. Every tear that dropped in silence was recorded in his book. Every groan that was too painful to speak out loud was heard clearly in his throne room. Not one moment of agony was overlooked or dismissed. And what felt like your breaking point? That was actually the precise moment his power began to move. The Creator never intended for the chosen to carry this weight alone. That burden was never meant to be yours to bear. It was always his to carry. And now, with hands surrendered and hearts wide open, the Lord is stepping in fully, decisively, completely. This moment is not just a random breakthrough that happened to occur. This is targeted restoration, precision healing. The Most High is not releasing general blessings that float around. He is going straight to the deepest injuries, to the roots of imbalance, to the places in the body and mind where trauma once settled and made a home. He knows exactly what triggered the suffering. He knows the words spoken behind closed doors that wounded you. He knows the stress stored in your bones. He knows the memories hidden in your muscles. He knows the fear that attached itself to your nervous system and won't let go. But there's no need to pretend anymore. No need to put on a brave face. The Lord does not rebuke weariness or weakness. He does not shame vulnerability. What he sees when he looks at you is survival. A survivor. A warrior. And now he's answering that survival with total restoration. The healing being released over you will not be fleeting. This is not surface-level relief that disappears next month. This is rebuilding at the foundation level. This is the kind of wholeness that rewrites an entire future. Where stress once stole vitality and energy, peace is now being installed like a new operating system. Where pain used to dictate every day and every decision, clarity is rising like the sun. Where emotional heaviness blurred your vision, joy is now awakening from deep sleep. This isn't just physical change. This is a brand new foundation being laid. The Most High has seen the hesitation in your heart, the fear that this healing might fade like it has before, the worry that you'll get your hopes up only to be disappointed again. But this time is different, not because the struggle is smaller or less real, but because the touch of God is deeper this time. The healing is being sealed by the Spirit, not just applied like a temporary remedy, but infused as permanent transformation. And when the Lord places his hand upon something, nothing remains the same, ever. The grip of the enemy is breaking off your life. The tactics that once drained your energy are no longer effective. Sickness, fatigue, disease, they're losing their grip. Their time is up.